Well, I was going to ask you, how is it that they could sell us on an economic, a jobless recovery, and they tell us that there's no recession right now? I want to know how this is humanly possible.
It isn't humanly possible. They're liars. They'll tell you anything.
People actually believe this.
Well, people are dumb. They believe in their country, and unfortunately, their country has sold them out.
I'm so glad you said that, and not me, because I've been thinking it for a very long time.
Yeah, every time I see one of these war movies, I get sick. All those people on both sides died for nothing, just to enrich the bankers, to subjugate the public. That's what wars are all about, distractions. Horrible.
Right, and then not only that, but you have, the thing that just happened in Haiti. And obviously you wouldn't know if HAARP was related to this or not, but a lot of people out there tend to think that there's somewhat of an inside job on Haiti.
Well, I think that possibility exists because the United States and others have the ability to do that. And you say, well, why would they do such a thing? Population control. They just want to get rid of them. Pretty simple.
So they feel that. Well, and that's too bad because Haiti, if it wasn't so corrupt, could have really nice tourist areas with beautiful beaches.
That's right, but and now they're all killing each other. People are fleeing Port-au-Prince and going into the farming areas and jungles, if you may, and it's the situation is chaotic. It's horrible, and it's going to cost billions of dollars to rebuild the country. And the question to me arises: well, if they had this earthquake, why didn't the people next door in the Dominican Republic have an earthquake?
Right.
And so that what leads me to believe there could be some credence to the opinion that maybe HAARP was used.
Right, and my way of thinking on this here is that in a normal country that we'll say it was say this was maybe Saskatchewan or Manitoba in Canada, or Ireland or someplace else where people aren't exactly the poorest of the poor, you don't have a half mile full of helicopters and airplanes full of supplies that are just grounded, and they're not able to give the food and the supplies out. They're just sitting and waiting for the order. How is this possible if the goal is to save these people? I would have thought that maybe you can't stop all the chaos, but surely you could start by giving food and water and then try to figure things out.
It's obvious they're letting them die. It's pretty simple. And I know decent people would say, oh, that's diabolical. I mean, how could you say such a thing? You got to understand these people. They're sick. And they believe that 60, 80% of the people in the world need to be done away with. And they've said it in speeches. They've written about it.
And from what I noticed, Mr. Chapman, it looks as though all the bad things happen on Tuesdays. With 9/11, the 7/7 bombing, the underwear bomber even happened on a Tuesday, the big stock market crash, Black Tuesday, and now this on a Tuesday. It just seems like everything that's planned always happens on a Tuesday.
Well, I accept your opinion on that, but quite frankly, I don't know anything about it, and I haven't looked into it. And it just goes to show you I don't know everything.
And by the way, since we're on the subject of HAARP, I'm just talking to the radio listeners here real quick. We have confirmed today that Dr. Nick Begich from HAARP, he's a scientist for HAARP in Alaska. He was on Jesse Ventura's conspiracy theory a couple weeks ago, and he will be on the show this Thursday. So we'll be able to ask him a lot of HAARP-related questions. So just a side note while
good.
we're here. Demcat, I'm sure you have more questions. I'll go ahead and let you take a question or two.
Oh, well, you guys were mentioning HAARP and the whole Haiti situation. Somebody gave me a website. It was a pretty interesting story. I don't know if it's any good, but it basically talked about the Defense Information Systems Agency using some type of exercise related to disaster relief during the time, well, right leading up to the time that Haiti had this earthquake. So I thought it was pretty interesting that, like 9/11, the government was running some type of simulation operation. So I just thought it was pretty interesting. Just want to comment on that.
Well, I think you're questioning of that sort of thing going on. You don't find many coincidences in life. Usually things are planned. And I think that there could be something to that, especially what we've experienced here over the last 6 or 7 years. So there might be something to that. Just like the Tuesdays. You know, you say, why? I mean, it could be coincidence, but that doesn't happen very often.
Well, let me ask you guys here. Would it be okay if I took I see our call-ins. We have a few, if you don't mind answering a question or two.
You know, I always love answering questions.
Oh, I know that, but I have to ask you since you're the guest here. So, for all I know, you could
say
you
no.
could say
no,
not
I don't
today.
say
I have
no.
a headache.
This is my 8th program today. I'm getting a
little
little worn down. Yeah.
Well, last month we appreciated the fact that you said that Fox News called you, and you said no, I have to be on the Proof Negative show. So we appreciate you going out of your way to turn down smaller talk shows to be on with us, right, Demcat?
Oh yeah, I mean, I heard him actually speak about that he has a great deal of loyalty to people who has loyalty to him, and I thought it was pretty honorable that he would honor his word and really support the people who support him. I just think it's amazing. You just don't see that type of behavior in this world nowadays. It's just something that amazes me, and I'm just glad you're here, and I'm really excited to speak with you.
No, thank you. And I know it's just all part of telling the truth and doing the right thing, the thing that you're supposed to do. And sure, I would have liked to have gone on Fox, but I wasn't going to leave scheduling for the following day in the lurch. I mean, it's not right, it's not fair, and you shouldn't do that.
Right, especially for something that could be a hit piece.
Yeah, you could be. But they'd have their hands full with me. I don't take any prisoners.
That's what I was thinking.
You know, at my age, I've got nothing to lose. I mean, most people my age are dead, so, I'm living on borrowed time now. And so there's nothing that can frighten me. Nothing. I'm like Superman as far as they're concerned.
All right, well, let me go ahead here. I have the 951 area code that is in Southern California. You're on the air with us. I want to say this is Torchwood from the chat room, if I'm not mistaken.
Hello, gentlemen. Now, this is Denichi. Torchwood is a friend of mine, very close friend.
Okay.
I want to say hello to Mr. Chapman. Great show tonight. Thank you for being here and talking about this insane financial situation we're all in. And I have a question for you about Secretary Gates and his proposed budget for this year. And I wanted to know what you thought about the additional increase in military spending.
Well, they have to defend and guard their poppy fields. It's very important.
Oh, no, you didn't.
I didn't what?
You didn't just go there. I mean, yeah, that's kind of funny because on prior military service, I've seen just about every horrific thing that the human mind can imagine and things that the American public right now doesn't even want to know about. You can't even make a movie about some of the things we did. But just to know that some of my guys, close friends of mine, Marine Corps, on duty in Afghanistan, are stationed within 100 yards of a poppy field plant, and they're sitting there wondering, why can't we torch this? They're off orders. don't touch that. That's not yours. Yeah, that they're asking the questions, but if you ask too much, you can wind up in some serious problems.
You want to get wind up dead.
Exactly my point.
Suicide.
These people don't fool around. I worked in counterintelligence. I was in the military, and I know, just like you do. Only I was in 50 years ago. But that's a $300 billion a year crop. 93% of the heroin in the world comes from there. And when the U.S. went in there was zero, because the Taliban had wiped it all out.
Right.
Because they felt it was the wrong thing to be doing, to poisoning people's lives so they could finance their religion and what what their agenda was.